In the shadow of towering mountains and beyond the reach of emperors, there exists another world. A world that does not appear on any official map, yet has shaped countless legends across centuries. It is a world where warriors do not fight for kingdoms, but for honor, where loyalty is stronger than law, and where power is measured not in armies, but in mastery of the self. This is the world of Wuxia, a rich storytelling tradition born from the cultural and philosophical roots of China. At the heart of this world are powerful martial sects institutions that train disciples, guard ancient techniques, and compete for influence within a hidden society known as Jianghu. Some are righteous, others feared, and many exist somewhere in between. But to understand these sects, we must first step into the world they belong to. The concept of Jianghu, meaning rivers and lakes, is central to Wuxia storytelling. It represents a parallel society that exists alongside the structural world of imperial China. While emperors ruled cities and armies enforced law, Jianghu was governed by its own code of fluid system, where reputation, honor, and martial ability determine one's place. Historically, China did have martial traditions rooted in real institutions. Families passed down combat techniques through generations. Temples trained monks in both spiritual and physical disciplines, and militias developed systems of combat for protection and warfare. Over time, these fragmented traditions became the inspiration for something far more organized and mythologized in literature. In Wuxia narratives, these traditions evolved into sects known as menpai, each functioning almost like a small state within Jianghu. A sect was more than a school. It was a complete system of identity. It defined how its members fought, how they thought, and how they interacted with the world. Loyalty to one sect was absolute, and betrayal was considered one of the gravest crimes imaginable. These sects often maintained strict hierarchies, with a grand master at the top, senior disciples beneath, and new initiates learning the foundations. Training was rigorous and often lifelong. Techniques were closely guarded, passed down only to trusted disciples, ensuring that each sect maintained its uniqueness and power. As these sects interacted, forming alliances, rivalries, and sometimes engaging in open conflict, they created the dynamic and unpredictable world of Jianghu, a place where balance was constantly shifting. Among all martial sects, none carries the weight of legacy quite like the Shaolin Sect. Its origins are rooted in the real Shaolin Temple, a Buddhist monastery that rose to prominence over 1,500 years ago. Historically, Shaolin monks were known not only for their spiritual devotion, but also for their martial prowess, which they developed as a means of self-defense and discipline. In Wuxia, the Shaolin Sect becomes something greater, a symbol of righteousness and moral authority within Jianghu. Its monks are portrayed as guardians of balance, often intervening when chaos threatens to consume the martial world. Yet this role is not without conflict. At its core, Shaolin is guided by Buddhism, which teaches compassion, detachment, and the avoidance of violence. However, in the world of Jianghu, violence is often unavoidable. This creates a philosophical tension that defines the sect. How can one uphold peace while mastering the art of war? This internal conflict is reflected in their training. Shaolin martial arts emphasize external strength, powerful strikes, endurance, and resilience. Their techniques are direct and efficient, designed to end conflict swiftly. But beneath this physical discipline lies a deeper spiritual practice. Meditation, moral teachings, and self-restraint are equally important, shaping not just fighters, but individuals seeking enlightenment. Throughout Wuxia stories, Shaolin often stands as the moral compass of Jianghu. Yet it is not immune to corruption, doubt, or failure. This complexity is what makes it one of the most compelling sects, an institution striving for perfection in an imperfect world. If Shaolin represents strength and discipline, the Wudang Sect represents balance and harmony. Inspired by the sacred Wudang Mountains, this sect is deeply connected to the philosophical traditions of Taoism. In contrast to Shaolin's outward force, Wudang emphasizes the cultivation of internal energy, known as qi. Its practitioners believe that true power does not come from brute strength, but from understanding the natural flow of energy within the body and the universe. The legendary figure Zhang Sanfeng is often credited as the founder of Wudang martial arts in Wuxia lore. According to legend, he developed these techniques after observing the effortless movements of nature, how water flows around obstacles, how softness can overcome hardness. This philosophy is reflected in Wudang's combat style. Movements are fluid and circular, designed to redirect an opponent's force rather than confront it directly. Timing, precision, and awareness are more important than raw power. Within Jianghu, Wudang often serves as a counterbalance to more aggressive sects. Its masters are respected not only for their skill, but also for their wisdom. They are strategists, thinkers, and often mediators in times of conflict. Yet beneath this calm exterior lies immense power. A true Wudang master can defeat stronger opponents with minimal effort, embodying the Taoist principle that the greatest strength lies in yielding. The Mount Hua Sect is often portrayed as one of the most technically advanced sects in Wuxia. Inspired by the sacred Mount Hua, it is known for its refined swordsmanship and strict discipline. Unlike Shaolin or Wudang, Mount Hua is often defined by its internal struggles. Many stories depict it as a sect divided, its members driven by ambition, pride, and differing interpretations of martial philosophy. Its sword techniques are elegant and precise, requiring years of practice to master. Every movement is calculated, every strike deliberate. But this pursuit of perfection comes at a cost. Rivalries within the sect often lead to betrayal and fragmentation. Students compete not just against outsiders, but against each other, creating an environment where loyalty is constantly tested. This makes Mount Hua a deeply human sect, one that reflects the complexities of ambition and the consequences of unchecked pride. The Emei Sect, inspired by Mount Emei, offers a different perspective within Jianghu. Often associated with female practitioners, it challenges traditional expectations of strength and power. Emei martial arts are characterized by agility, precision, and adaptability. Rather than relying on brute force, its techniques emphasize speed, balance, and timing. Spiritually, the sect draws from Buddhist principles, but its interpretation is unique. Emei represents a quieter form of strength, one that does not seek dominance, but achieves mastery through discipline and understanding. In many Wuxia narratives, Mei plays a stabilizing role, offering wisdom and support in times of conflict. Its presence reminds the martial world that power does not always need to be loud to be effective. At first glance, the Beggar Sect appears insignificant. Its members wear ragged clothing and live on the margins of society. But beneath this humble exterior lies one of the most powerful organizations in Jianghu. Unlike traditional sects, the Beggar Sect has no fixed headquarters. Its strength lies in its network, interconnected system of members spread across cities, villages, and trade routes. This gives them unparalleled access to information. They know what happens in Jianghu before anyone else. In many stories, they act as the unseen force that shapes events from behind the scenes. Their martial arts are practical and unpredictable, reflecting their environment. They adapt quickly, using whatever resources are available. The Beggar Sect represents a powerful idea that strength does not always come from status or wealth, but from unity, resilience, and intelligence. The so-called demonic sects, such as the Ming cult, occupy a controversial place in Wuxia. They are often portrayed as antagonist groups that reject traditional morality in pursuit of power. But many stories challenge this simple classification. These sects often arise from oppression or exclusion. Their members are individuals who refuse to conform to the rigid structures of orthodox sects. They experiment with forbidden techniques, push the limits of martial arts, and question the very idea of righteousness. In doing so, they introduce one of Wuxia's most important themes, the idea that morality is not always absolute. In the end, the martial sects of Wuxia are not just fictional creations. They are reflections of human nature, of ambition, discipline, belief, and conflict. The Shaolin Sect teaches restraint. The Wudang Sect teaches balance. Others reveal the complexities of pride, survival, and freedom. Together, They form the living mythology of Jianghu, a world that exists not in reality, but in the imagination. And yet, through these stories, they continue to shape how we understand strength, honor, and what it truly means to master oneself.